All right, so I'm here. I just spun up a Rocky VPS or VM using Linode. So the reason I use Linode is they're a great company. They offer new users $100 credits, which is huge. It allows you to play around with new operating systems. I'm not an affiliate or anything, but I use them a lot, and that's what I use for this project. So here I have, they gave me the IP address for that. So I have it here. I'm currently using Putty, which is the SSH tool that I use on Windows. So I have that posted here. SSH defaults to port 22. So that's set here. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this open. And you'll first be prompted to a window that looks like this. It's just saying like, hey, are you sure you want to connect to that? So I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. And then that's going to open up this over here, my Putty SSH tool. And on here, Linode defaults the admin user to root because every Linux distro that I know uses root. So I'll type in root here. And then I'm going to type in the password. For some reason, I can't get my copy and paste to work yet. So I'm just going to type it in. Okay, so I'm logged in as root. And the first thing I do when I get a new box is, you see how easy that was? It used the default administrator name and default port number. So I'm going to switch that because typically when you first put something on the internet, there's a bunch of bad people out there who's automated testing the root user on random IPs and just brute forcing that password. And I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new user, and then I'm going to move all the admin privileges to that user and then just disable root. So the way I do that is I'm going to use the add user function on Linux. I'm just going to call it add user admin1. So that just created a new user. And then I'm going to change that password by using passwd and the username. It says select a new password. I'm just going to create a really bad password. It doesn't matter. I'm going to blow this away anyways. It's telling me here that the password is bad and that I should feel bad because it failed the dictionary check. I don't care. This won't be online for long. Okay. So now it updated the user. If I went to like the shadow file, I would see that, but I don't care to do that. So now I have a new user, and now I want to give it admin rights. And the way Linux does that is it has a group called the Wheel, which is some metal stuff from Game of Thrones, break the wheel, but we're just going to add people to the wheel right now. So we're just going to do user mod, the modify user, AG, which is adding it to the group, and then wheel, and then the username I want, which in this case is admin1. Bam. So now the new user admin1 is part of that group. And I can check that by doing su admin1, which means I'm going to try to become here. And you can see this changed from root to admin. And I can double check that by using the command who am I. And now I'm admin1. Excellent. So I'm going to test that I have sudo rights by using sudo dnf, which is the packet manager here. It's kind of like an overlay of Yum, which is like the CentOS Red Hat thing. For those that use Ubuntu or Debian, you probably know this is apt. So I'm going to use dnf update tech-y. So what this is going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to update all the packages I have that the packet manager is tracking. And here, I get a little prompt saying like, you're a new admin, right? This is the first time you ever using admin. Are you sure you want to do this? I do. Absolutely. So I type in the password, and I'm able to run DNF as an admin. So I know this user now has the rights. I'm going to let this update. I'm really far behind on some stuff, I suppose. But hey, so now it's done. So we're fully updated. We have a new user. and that user now has admin rights, which we just checked by running this that required sudo. So I feel good about disabling now the ability for root to log in. And I'm going to do that by editing the SSH config. So I'm going to use sudo nano. Nano is the text editor that I'm using for this case. You could also use like VI or Vim. I'm using nano for this. And I'm going to go to Etsy, which is where we typically hold configuration files. SSH, because I want to edit that protocol. And then if you look in here, there's an sshd underscore config. I lied, there isn't. No, I don't want to save. So I have to put the slash in front of it so it knows that that's the Etsy folder from the home drive. There we go. Okay. So now we can go down here. This is where you would change the port number. I'm okay with it being 2. But down here, about halfway down, there's a permit root login. And I'm going to come over here and change this to no. And then Control X and save it. Okay, so that's now no. So that means the next time SSH restarts, it's not going to allow root login. And I'm going to force that to go by using systemctl, which is the thing that runs the services here, restart, and then sshd for the SSH daemon, which is just like, it's just always running. It's the thing running that service. So I'm going to hit that. It's telling me it's authenticating, authentication complete. Cool. So let me exit. So I'm in root. I'll go ahead and exit that. Pull this back up. It forgot my thing, which is fine. Linode makes it super easy to always have the IP address. Hit OK. And I'm going to try to log back in as root. And you can see here it says access denied, and that's because we denied root access. So that worked, great. Instead, now, let me try to log in using our new user. And that, I'm going to change the font so it shows up better. And we're in. Awesome. We can see here, who am I? We're admin 1, we're not root, but we're able to log in. So thanks for joining me. Here we started a new Rocky image. We SSH'd into it as root. We created a new user. We changed that user's password. And then we enabled SSH to not allow root login. So now we have a new administrator that we use, and it's not as susceptible to root, automated root password breakers and scanners. All right, thank you for joining me. We'll continue back for more Rocky Linux hardening.